Not all of us have the talent or the genius of Bill Gates, Zuckerberg, Steve Jobs, and there are many others. But the good news is there are some simple things we can do to get started and become leaders in our own industry. Welcome to my vlog. Today I want to give you 3 simple steps you can take to get your digital transformation journey started today. Step number 1. Think of all the customer pain your customers may experience. Now, that doesn't necessarily need to be a complaint, but it should be a pain. Now, the good news is nobody knows your customer better than you. Now, just take a piece of paper, start writing down. Nothing is wrong. There is literally no wrong answers. Just start jotting them down. Take at least 10 minutes. If you take longer, that's okay. Just set a certain set of time aside and take it seriously. The outcome of all 3 steps really going to rely on the quality of what you're putting in right now. To give you an idea, one of the customer pains that I often experience is simple thing like making an appointment with my hairstylist or with my car mechanic or doctor. And the reason for that is that usually throughout the day I forget to call them during their business hours to make this appointment. Now, that doesn't mean that your customer have the same problem or consider that a pain, but for me surely is. If you still don't know where to start to thinking through the whole customer journey, like every interaction he has with your business to do business with you. Now, step number 2. Take all the items you have written down and sort them and combine them. Combine them if you're able to combine them, otherwise just leave them as it is, and sort them from top to bottom where you believe the technology or the probability that technology can address this pain is the highest on top and the lowest at the bottom. For example, what I just said, what is a pain for me is to make an appointment. That is something that technology is very likely to address or deliver a solution. But for example, let's say I'm a hairstylist and I know one of the common pains of my customer is that they're not happy with the quality of my haircut. Now, this is something where technology is not really likable to address the solution. I mean, it's not impossible, but it really would take a lot of money to invest in a robot that actually can, do a haircut. Now, take a yellow pen, mark the 3 to 5 items that make you the most excited. Like when you read through the list and you're like, oh yeah, that would be really cool if I could do this. And the first one then of the yellow mark, that is, your low-hanging fruit. And the third step, there's no way around, you're going to have to talk to a consultant. Somebody that has actually then the capability to draw or draft the technology solution that can address this. Now, we all know there's a lot of people calling themselves an expert and it's hard to know who is a good expert or who is a bad one. Just note, it's always okay to challenge your experts or your consultant. I'm always very keen on it to make sure that I'm not reinventing the wheel. I mean, if I'm, for example, a car mechanic, doctor, or hairstylist, I for sure don't want to maintain software. So I want to use what is out there. This can mean sometimes that the process, I have to change my process because it's not able or the solution is not able to do it how I wanted to do it, but that doesn't mean it's bad. And most certainly you could customize it, but my recommendation is go with how the flow of the software is so that you really can stick to what is your core business, and that would be cutting hair or being a car mechanic or whatever it is that you're doing. For example, the pain that I was talking, like if we stick to my example, Microsoft just a few months ago it released the tools, it's called Bookings, that allows exactly just that, where I can go 24/7 to a website, book a slot, make an appointment and get it done. I mean, I'm in my mid-30s and I'm sure not the only one that has a busy life and simple things like that go down. And everything that helps me to be more efficient in my day-to-day life tasks are vendors or companies that I prefer to work with. And I'm pretty sure as you're looking this online video, you know what I'm talking about. I mean, when was the last time you went to a store to get information, let's say, about your digital camera? Or didn't you do the research, at home in the evening when you had the time to do the research? The same goes with, shopping, online shopping. How many times did you shop outside of the actual business hours of a certain store? It became normal. We can do it whenever we have time and on our own schedules. So why wouldn't you allow me to make my appointment at night when I have time to actually think about this? I made another vlog about how you can get started with the digital transformation of your website. Please watch that if you haven't yet. It gives you somewhat of an idea when I'm saying don't reinvent the wheel and that there is many tools out there, just so you could get a rough imagination of what is already out there. At this point, I hope with these 3 simple steps, remember customer pain, identify them, sort them like what technology most likely can help you with and least likely, mark the ones yellow that make you the most excited, talk to an expert, and then pick 1 or 2, or if you have more money then even make them all, and that's how you get started with your digital transformation. I also want to quickly take the chance and say I'm really sorry for the bad audio quality in my last vlog. Thank you for pointing it out, Javier. I'm gonna try really hard to make it better in the future and down the road. And if you found today's episode helpful, please share it, subscribe to my blog, subscribe to the YouTube channel, spread the news, help me, send it to businesses that you know that this would help so they can get started today with the digital transformation. Thank you again for taking your time. Please keep your feedback coming and be sure next week I have my next episode ready. Thank you very much.